Meanwhile, the historically successful strike on Iranian nuclear sites, especially the one at Fordo, was 15 years in the making. And we're learning more about the little-known agency behind it.
There's an organization in the U.S. called the Defense Threat Reduction Agency, DTRA. DTRA does a lot of things for our nation, but DTRA is the world's leading expert on deeply buried underground targets. In the case of Fordo, the DTRA team understood with a high degree of confidence the elements of the target required to kill its functions, and the weapons were designed, planned, and delivered to ensure that they achieve the effects in the mission space.
Amazing, right? Someone who knows a lot more about DTRA, the organization just described, and worked there is Joey Jones, our Fox News contributor, retired U.S. Marine bomb tech, and author of the #1 New York Times bestseller, Beyond the Badge. Joey, you were one of the few people that knew what he was talking about. Can you tell me what their mission is?
Yeah, so I had an internship there after I was injured and lost my legs. I have a couple of mentors that were there for several years. So DTRA is one of those few agencies that was created before 9/11 that is forward-thinking and fits well into the Homeland Security model. Basically, it's a collection of previous agencies, came about, like I said, before 9/11. And the goal here is really think nuclear, chemical, biological, radiological, what we classically consider a weapon of mass destruction, whether it be a power plant that goes offline like 3 Mile Island or, what happened in Japan or what Iran had. And so the agency has several key roles and responsibilities. One of the first ones is that they plan exercises within the U.S. for if something goes wrong. People don't know this. We've lost more than a dozen nukes, most of them at sea, one of them in a cornfield in the Midwest that we never recovered. And so there are nuclear threats out there within our borders that we don't even think about. You have nuclear and radiological material that go missing from road crew equipment, hospitals every year. And if somebody collected that and wanted to make a nefarious item out of it, they could. DTRA would be one of the organizations most responsible for looking at it. DTRA also is in charge or plays a key role in our inspection of both our own stuff and things abroad. And it goes on. And of course, you learned about a cell that they generally try to keep quiet that plans for contingencies, as we call it.
You got things like the Japanese nuclear meltdown after the tsunami. Yeah. So it's been created since '98. You can see a need for it. So if Iran says, OK, I need some sanctions relief, do it. I'm going to do the 1-800. I'm going to do the Gaddafi plan. Come get my stuff. Would this be the agency that came in and saw what was left of their nuclear program and took it? They would be under peaceful circumstances?
Yeah, it would be one of them for sure. The thing about the United States government is it's bloated and it swells. For example, a good example is Space Force. What is Space Command now? Used to fall under DTRA because ultimately, between you and me, Ryan, we got to make sure there aren't nukes and satellites in space already. But intercontinental ballistic missiles, things that go exo-atmospheric, that's a DTRA responsibility. When Obama came in, he basically took the organization and said, focus on nuclear, because if you can handle that, you can handle all the other stuff, chemical, biological, and what we call radiological, which is similar to nuclear, but it doesn't blow up. It just puts out radiation. So they play a key role in all of that.
I remember when we thought, with Yeltsin in charge and Gorbachev immediately in charge, then Yeltsin took over, we thought we'd have a good relationship with the new Russia. And we went in there to help them dismantle their nuclear program and make sure they didn't get involved with like rogue states or like the Chechens. And it was Senator Lugar and a young senator named Barack Obama who played a role in a lot of that evaluation early.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's why the Obama administration was so interested in DTRA. Nuclear threat is a big one. Now, I can understand why any president would say, hey, focus on the one that would really hurt. And what I want people to understand is when it comes to radiological, what we call fissile material, it's not just an explosion. There are instances abroad and here where material that puts off radiation, alpha, beta, gamma, in a way that could hurt you, give you sickness and kill you. You could bury a piece of that under a park bench, and it would take weeks, if not months, to find it, and people would get. So there's a terrorism element here that DTRA was focused on for a long time. Now I think it's pointed back towards a more conventional outlook, and that's kind of scary.
They say between 400 and 800 kilograms of uranium could be out and about somewhere in Iran. Just real quick, Joey, can they do it in hostile situations? For example, General Kane said, we don't grade our own homework. Can DTRA do that even if they're not invited? Can they look at the analysis? Can they look at the readings and and do that report card?
So it's my understanding, and listen, I'm 10 plus years removed from the organization, but it's my understanding that we have types of boots on the ground in the intel community that know what to look for, report that information back to an organization like DTRA, and they would be the analysts that look at it.
Right.
What makes DTRA, one of the things that makes it so unique is they have a mix of your really smart scientists and also your hands-on techs like myself. The best quote I can give you from a Marine bomb tech is DTRA is the only place that I fully used my top secret security clearance. And then he's like, I can't tell you much else.
And Joey, you're now a quadruple threat or a 5-tool player. You're now also the #1 New York Times bestseller, Beyond the Badge, #1 in the country. Congratulations, man. I know how much every one of those stories means to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. The credit goes to the 9 people in the book for sure.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.